Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Beagles Games Guitars. Today I'm going to be playing a solo round of Red Rising by Stonemaier Games. If you don't already know, Red Rising is a book series written by Pierce Brown, and I have read them, and you don't necessarily need to have read them to understand this game. So I'm going to kind of give the layout of the land on this. You're basically going to be deploying cards to these 4 different locations. After you deploy the card, you do the text that's read on the card that you deployed, and then you will pull from another location and gain the bonus of that location. The solo runs a little different, but I'll go over that in just a second. There's 4 locations that correspond to 4 different things you're going to be trying to collect throughout the game. For instance, on Jupiter, Jupiter is part of the fleet track. So whenever you pull a card from Jupiter's location, you're going to increase on the fleet track. And then Mars, whenever you pull a card from the Mars location, you're going to take helium here. And so helium's worth 3 points each at the end of the game. If you go to the Luna location, for me and any other normal player, you will gain this sovereign token. And whenever you gain the sovereign token, you're going to activate the specific power that your house has, which mine, I get to roll the dice. So I'm kind of a wild house. I'm a crazy house. And then the Institute, anytime you pull from this location, I'll be placing an influence cube at the Institute. Whoever has the most there will score 4 points. Whoever has the second most will get 2 points each, and whoever has the third most, which will be this guy, will be 1 point. So if I don't put more than 3 cubes, I'm only going to get 1 point for each one I put out there. So I definitely want to get it more than 3 by the end of the game. The Automa runs a little differently, like I said, because anytime they pull from this location, they're also going to be gaining influence at the Institute. So this is kind of a setup. You'll randomly place these A through D cards out here, and depending on what card is at Luna, you will match it to the opposite card. So D and A are matched and C and B are matched. So if B was here, I would be using the C's bonus. So today it's A and D, so it'll get Institute bonus. And then you determine if there's more evens than odds out here. So there's actually 5 odd cards versus only 3, 2. Sorry, I can't do math to 8. So we're going to go with odd. I guess we'll figure out who's going to be the first player. I'll just grab a random cube for each of us. The way this game ends is the moment a player has met 2 conditions or 3 conditions are met by a multiple of players. I get to go first. Those conditions are having 7 on the fleet, 7 influence at the Institute, or 7 helium. Once that ends, everyone finishes the round. So if it's the last player, which is Automa, and they meet the conditions, the game's over. If I meet the conditions, or the conditions are met on my turn, the Automa gets 1 more turn to potentially steal this. This is worth 10 points at the end of the game. Sometimes more, depending on certain cards, like the Jackal. Gets 30 points if I have the Sovereign token. So that's definitely a strategy. The Automa will operate by a deck of cards. It'll take 2 turns instead of 1. And it's basically just going to pull from the top of the deck and then pull a card from a location. Sometimes gaining the bonus, sometimes not, and sometimes banishing a card. It'll just depend on what it says here. They start off with 2 random cards. We're never going to figure out what their cards are until the end of the game. I'll flip them over. It'll only keep 20 cards, but it's going to try and keep as many odd cards as it can, because odd cards are worth 6 points each versus, in this game, even cards are only worth 3. I'm going to play on the normal difficulty. So they'll get 70 points just right off the bat, plus 6 points for each odd card and 3 points for each even card, plus the normal scoring conditions. So I'm going to have to really try and beat this guy. I always lose. So I'm going to look at my cards real quick, and I'll skip to where I start my first turn. Okay, so I'm going to try and hold the cards up here. I'm going to play Pellis. I guess that's how you say it. Advance twice on the fleet track. Then all other players advance once on the fleet track. So I'll go deploy her at Luna. I will go up twice, and then all other players go up once. I wouldn't mind getting Mateo, which lets me advance an additional time, because it didn't say end my turn after I did that. So now I'm going to do the Automa's turn. They're going to deploy to location D, and then they're going to pull from location C. And it's just in their hand now. No bonus. Now I'm going to deploy to location A. I'm going to pull from location C, gaining the bonus. Since there's nothing at C, I follow this arrow to the right to the next location. If I remember, I still gain the bonus of C, so they will actually go up on the fleet track. At the beginning of the game, Automa burns 4 cards just for variability, so it's not always the same turns. Let me look back at my hand again. You know, there's so many good options that I could do, and it's driving me bonkers. That's one thing about this game, is that your strategy is always changing. So I could move any card from this location to the top of another location, playing Mateo to the top of another location. If it's a pink, which it is, place 1 influence on the Institute. So now I still get to pull a card, which I think I'll actually grab her, which will give me Luna, the Sovereign token, and I get to roll the dice. That lets me banish a card, top card of a location, for each gold. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Timony. I'll put banish cards over there. Automa deploying to A, pulling from the Sovereign from Luna, but they're not gaining a bonus, but they're just banning the top card. Now they're deploying to B, and they're pulling from Jupiter. Nope, over here. Gaining the bonus, so they will advance on the fleet track. All that effort to get further on the fleet track, and they're just right there with me. Okay, I'm going to put him out there, move a copper or a white from any location to directly under this card. You may gain that card. I don't want to gain the card, I just kind of want to move it to make it more readily accessible. And then I will take the group counselor to get a helium. They're going to deploy to A and pull from the fleet. No bonus. Deploy to B and pull from the Institute's location. And that's their turn. So I'm going to pay 1 helium to place 2 influence on the Institute. So now I'm tied for first. And now I still get to pull a card. So I'm actually going to pull Cassius, which will give me a helium. So that helium just kind of came back to me. They're going to deploy at the Institute. And they're going to pull from C's location, gaining the bonus. So they have outfleeted me. Deploying to Mars. And pulling from the D location. None there. Moving left. Still gaining the D's location. The D. So they get the Sovereign token and influence. I'm just going to do this again. Advance twice on the fleet track. All other players get to advance once, so I kind of just wanted to net that. I will take the pink on Mars to get a helium. They're going to deploy to C, and then they're going to pull from Mars, gaining the bonus. So they finally have some helium. And now they're going to deploy the A and pull from A. So boom, boom, banishing the top card. Back to me. There's nothing I really want to do, so I'm just going to scout, which will let me gain the bonus of that location. I'm going to deploy the Mars and pull from A, gaining the bonus of A. I don't know why I put that in my hand. Deploy to the Institute and pull from A, so I'm just going to go boom, boom. So now they're tied with me. They're tied with me almost everywhere, but they get that 70 points right off the bat. So I'm going to play Cassius, gain the card directly under this one. Banish Cassius unless it's a gold. It is a gold. It doesn't say end my turn, so I still get to go. So I'll take this sponsor to put an influence out there. Go to B. And they're going to pull from Luna. So they're gaining the sovereign token, placing influence. And now they're going to deploy at Luna and pull from the A location, gaining that bonus. Well, so much for being tied here. I'm just going to go for it. Go over here, pay 1 helium to place 2 influence at the Institute. And then I will take the Priestess, gaining a fleet. They're going to go to B, pull from B, so boom, boom, gain that. We're like tied on everything. Go to A. I don't know why I went over there. A is over here. Pull from Mars, but don't gain anything. Now I have a choice to make. So I'm going to banish any other card from this location. If it's an obsidian, place 1 influence. So I am banishing Sephi, which is an obsidian. So I get to place an influence at the Institute. Let's do a random. Now let's just take the judge. So I get that, which lets me roll. Really? I get to reveal a card? Reveal a card and place it on any location. The hacker. I kind of want to go up on the fleet, so let me go over there. They're going to deploy at Jupiter. And they're going to pull from B, gaining B's bonus. B bonus. Last card of this deck, they are going to deploy at Luna. And they're going to pull from B, gaining the bonus. So let me shuffle. Decisions. We're kind of tied here. Kind of need to figure out how to get more cards. That's the hard part. For the burn. Okay. kind of want to, boom, gain the top card of the deck. Banish Lysander unless you deployed him on Luna. I did not, because I want to pull from Luna. Boom, get that. Lets me roll. I get the place and influence. Oh, I met the trigger, so I have 7 of that. If I get 7 and something else, it's going to trigger the game, the end of the game. So, yar, they're deploying to the D. And then pulling from C. Darn, Quietus is a good card. B the B star. So, B to B, gaining that. So it says you may reveal the Howlers instead to gain that card. Banish the card directly under this one. So I'm interpreting this as you have to deploy it, banish it, reveal the Howlers instead. So I mean you reveal it instead to take that card. It doesn't say end your turn. We'll see if I get any comments for that. And I will take this one, letting me reveal. We'll see. I think that's how that works. I have a lot of cards. So I'm deploying to Jupiter. And pulling from B's location. So now they have 6 helium. And now they're deploying to Luna, pulling from A, getting that bonus. Thinking about my next play. Okay. This might be a decent swing. If you have the Sovereign token, advance once on the fleet track. So now I've met the conditions. So I'll pull Mustang. That lets me roll. I get to advance on the fleet track again. They get one more turn. A to A, so A to A bonus. And then C to D. So C, I'm pulling from D, so they go left to left, but they don't get the bonus. So now, if I'm not mistaken, the game is ended because I have 8 here and 8 there. So now we'll go over in-game scoring. I didn't say I was good at this game. So I'm going to do the non-card stuff first. So fleet track, I have 34 points. They have 15. I only have 2 helium, so that's 6. They have 6 helium. 6 times 6. 6 times 3. Sorry, not 6. I have the Sovereign token for 10 points. I have 8 times 4, 32. They have 7 times 2 is 14. And however many cards, minus 10 victory points for each card over 7. I have 9, so I have minus 20 points. Now they get 70 points straight up. And now I'm going to call their hand. As many odd cards as they can. 13. Okay. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I have 13. 13 times 6. 78, huh? Plus the 7 that are times 3. Wow. 99? Okay. So now I need to do mine. 30. 45. 55. 75. Yeah, 75 and 35 is 110. 119. And then 119 plus 16. 135. So I have 135 for my base score here. 14 if with a gold, or red, but not both. So I have a gold, so that's 14 points there. 14 points there. Gain the core value of the top of any location. So that could be 20. 14 plus 20. 34. So 34 right now. If at least one location with no cards or where the top card is face down. There's at least one location with no cards, so that's 22. So I'm at 56. -1 per banished card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So -5. So now I'm at 51. For each different color. So there's a gold, there's a white, there's a yellow, there's a green, there's an obsidian, and there's a pink. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So 30. So that puts me at 81. 3 points for each of my cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times 3, 27. 8. I got 108 so far. If it's your only obsidian, it is plus 15. 123. If with Victra the Howlers or a red, I'm not with Victra's Howlers or a red. And 15 if with a Jackal or a gray, and I don't have any grays. So I think I actually did pretty good this game. I can't add up all this, so I'm just going to kind of cut to the end and I'll do my terrible math. Okay, so if I did my math right, I scored 320 points and they only got 214 points. I've never scored over 300 points before. And I was managing a camera at the same time, so I feel really good about that. I don't think I'll ever do that again. I do think this game you score higher with more cards. So I always was worried about losing 10 points per card. But as you can see, most of these cards are worth more than 10 points in their base value. So you're at least still netting points for each card over 7 that you have. Plus, if you can meet all the end conditions at the bottom, you'll get even more points. I was always scared about going over 7. But that doesn't seem to hurt. It seems to really make my score a lot higher. So that is Red Rising Solo. It does not take that long to play. Doesn't take that long to put away either. I really enjoy it. It's not my favorite Stonemaier game. There's a lot of luck involved because look, in a solo I only went through this many cards and there's still this many potential cards that didn't come out, which I feel like would come out a lot more in a 6-player game. I've played a 5-player game and that felt better. I think higher player counts help this particular game. Mainly because more cards come out. This isn't really a take that game, so you're not intentionally trying to screw each other over. So you don't have to worry about being mean to someone. Stonemaier makes games that aren't very mean to each other, so I enjoy that. Alright, that is how you play Red Rising Solo, and that's partially how you put it away. Alrighty, y'all. Have a good day.